could you go back to some previous slides?
This slides are which slide? Which slide?
The slide doesn't you list all the features of what you have done so far?
This slide are
Yeah. So now your application. So the feature of the application is that it can detect if the user is positive or negative to the COVID-19 through the cough, right? Is
yes.
there any other feature?
Yes, we also generate the result into the QR code. It's like the test kit in the normal life. However, the special thing in our project is that so we also create the system that in order to collect the data from the user, and we will have the automatic annotation system in order to annotate the data from the user. We use the propping process that by using 3 models that we trained before by the other method, by the different methods in order to do the propping process. So the result will be relevant, will be more relevant.
I think that's one question on the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the training phase, the accuracy is 55%, but the prediction is 82%. So for the prediction, do you mean the probability is the outputted by the models?
So you can see the accuracy, the probability of the predicting result is like the confidence of the predictive result that the model can feedback to you. Yes, this is the meaning of the prediction probability.
Okay, so you said that this one. You said that you would, on the main feature is that you would collect the data and do the annotation of the data, right?
Yes, this is one of
more, could you go more, give me more details about how you collect the data and how do you do the annotation?
Yes, I will describe the process of we get the annotation. So when the users use our app, so they will send the record audio, and we will send that record audio and the metadata of the user to our server. So we will have a database service like below to save the data, and the other way we'll send the audio to the API AI in order to detect it. So in order to save the data, we will have the database service. So in this system, in this service, so we will have 3 model. It's like the 3 service in the figure, and we will predict when the data sent to this system. So we will predict the probability that that data have negative or positive, and then we will use the propping technique, like we will calculate the probability for that data have COVID or not, and we will send it into the annotation storage. So the problem is when the user use our app, so they won't know they have infected by COVID or not. So that is also the difficult problem for them. So we can use we use the propping technique in order to make the data more relevant. So if the people that have COVID, so if three model that send the result that the user have the COVID, so maybe the probability that they have COVID is so high, and we can confident about that result.
You have just said about metadata. So what exactly that you include in that metadata?
So the metadata is the data of the user, such as the username, the full name of them, the identify card ID. Yes, that's just the basic information of the user. In order to we store the data on the database, and then after that, if they actually have the COVID, So we can recheck again and we can check the model to make sure that our data is correct. Actually, in our roadmap, we have a step that to use that data like the green card in the COVID app of Vietnamese government.
Okay, that's all for my question.
One more question about the AI model. So the team reviews the model, not just using the API from AI COVID VM, right?
Yes. Because our team member have participated in the AI COVID challenge in last years. So we have the experience in building the model, and we actually have the recent model that we trained before, and it get the quite positive perform on the test data set of the organizer. So we use it in our project.
So one last call for any questions from our judges as well as all the audiences and teams of developers. If there's no question, so thank you, v1olet, for your presentation.